and also pain. Yes, we've all experienced it, some more than others. So I am sharing a yin-leaning practice for when it hurts. And I'm literally I'm set up in my living room, which is actually a working art studio. So you can see there's a lot of stuff. It's okay. It doesn't need to be some big fancy place. All right. So this is a yin-leaning practice for because everything hurts. Everything hurts today for me. May or may not for you. I will be trying to read the comments if you have questions. This is Norman. He's a spanking cat, aren't ya? Yes, he's a masso cat. And that's Darla. So what I have for props is I've got some blankets on a mat and a pillow, a bolster, some blocks. If you're screen recording this, which you're welcome to do, you can do this on your floor or you could do this on your bed. If you don't want to screen record this, I am going to upload it to the TV one. Okay? And also, I don't mind if you do. The rules of the game. The rules of the game for this moment together are breathe. You're in charge. And because the awareness, I don't want to say the focus, but because the awareness is the discomfort of pain, I would also invite you to consider pulling way back, like way back from efforting and from challenging and from full expression. So there's no need to go to everywhere you can be in a moment. When we're working with pain, in my experience now, I've lived with pain for about 45 years and I've been in this realm of somatics for about 30. Backing off and just like chilling out sometimes can really help. Okay, so I've said before, I'm going to say it again, you're welcome to screen record. I will try to keep some track of that. And let's get started. So starting a constructive rest position, which is lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. So if you're practicing on top of your bed, you'll have your feet in, just on top of wherever you are. The softer the surface, the gentler the experience for some of us. So that's cool if you need to add more poof. And to get started, take a couple breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth. If that doesn't feel good, breathe a different way. Inhale. And again, if it's okay, out of your mouth. So these, they're like a sigh. And each exhale is a moment for your body to be aware that it can be supported by whatever you're on, and it's okay that we're protecting ourselves, right, habitually, just because of the discomfort of pain. So while I'm not one to say like, oh, pick your pain for the day, I will share with you, I am extremely aware of my neuropathy right now in my arms, like from my elbows down and my knees down. Right, and so taking these just first couple minutes here in this shape to check in. How does the breath feel? Is your breathing labored? Is it shallow? It doesn't need to be any way, by the way. It's just to notice how you're breathing or that you're breathing. And so in this constructive rest shape, turn your chin to one shoulder and tuck it in. So I've got my head away from you. And what I'd like you to notice is that my shoulders are still on the ground. I'm also only turning the head to where the sensation shows up, not to the full range of motion. Would you please ask Darla to be quiet? Thank you. Coming back into center. Head stays on the ground and coming over to the other side again. Staying well within whatever range and meaning comfort has for you today. So this kind of practice, bring your head into center. I don't typically cue specific breaths unless there's a reason. So just as long as your breath is however it shows up is perfect. If you bring your hands to your abdomen here, if that's comfy for you, palms on your ribs, so that your thumbs will be right about where a bra strap would be. Palms on the ribs, or your belly or abdomen. And as you breathe here, so now there's a purpose, a reason, are you able to expand your hands when you breathe in through your nose? My long COVID friends, this might be very challenging for your lungs. Exhale. No reason to challenge, right? So if the deep breathing is not available, as you're breathing, just be aware of your hands and imagine your breath expanding your hands. And as we're here, letting a gentle smile come to your lips, you might find that you return back to an intuitive breath. And this smile, this gentle smile, is as though you're sending it back to yourself. It's like a boomerang smile. And yourself in this context is your literal physical body. Generally, specifically, as an idea, however you want to be in relationship with it today. And this smiling here, this gentle smile towards the self, this is a way to transform stress, but it's also the first practice in these tantric arts from China, and it begins with a smile. Right, so the attitude is like kindness and gentle, even though there's pain. Now you might see I'm able to stay pretty still here. If you need to be moving, please move. So transferring to a seat, roll onto your side and just pause for a moment on your side. And pressing yourself up to sit. And find as close to a comfortable seat as you're able to. If that means you're on your back, that means you're on your back. I'm going to sit up on this bolster and come cross-legged. This is easy seat. And T. And just take a moment and be aware. So right now I am aware that my forearms and hands feel like they're on fire. I'm not able to feel in between my toes. That's one of the weirder manifestations of my neuropathy. I'm aware that the entire mastectomy site and everywhere I have lymphedema is screaming today, and here go my knees. So here's this. And the awareness isn't like, oh my gosh, that's so wrong. The awareness is, okay, this is where I can be for now. Gentle and kind towards self, because I have work this weekend. I'm teaching, I'm sound bathing, my family's in town. And while I'm able to, so I'm just literally just loving on myself and giving my sore joints that inner smile inside. And this is somatics, by the way. This is embodiment. Just to literally be with your body. So this is where I'm feeling the fire. This has been with me since chemotherapy. I imagine it will be with me till death. I imagine it leaving in this moment as well. So, I mean, like, who knows? But, you know, and a lot of chronic pain isn't visible, right? So we go into these studio spaces, giving my feet some love as I chat here, go into these studio spaces and outwardly look normal, you know? Maybe even flexible, maybe even athletic, maybe even, you know, mobile. And by athletic, I'm not talking about body type. I'm just talking about like, and then we have these hidden disabilities, these hidden illnesses, and the pressure to perform. So a moment like this, a yin-leaning moment, really just acknowledging the discomfort and being soft towards it, can help with discernment when you're in the studio. All right, back to stretching. So this is for the side body. I'm going to stay in a cross leg. For some folks, it's going to be better to have your feet together. Again, you could even just be on a stool or something here if you'd like. My cats have found something. They'll be here in a moment. So bringing your right hand to the ground and your right ear to your right shoulder. You're gonna find a place where you can kind of lean. Okay, so here it is. I'm actually leaning on this arm and just letting the left arm relax down. And so what this will do is bring a little bit of a moment, little bit of sensation. Again, when addressing pain, this is my experience, again, based on however many decades, it is to aim to not make it worse than it is. Come on into center. And by aim to not make it worse, I mean like, this is as far as I'm going on this side, because I am in so much flippin' discomfort on my lymphedema arm, and that's okay. And I'm bringing up studio spaces here as I'm live streaming because we, the somatic folks, are going to be seeing more and more long COVID in our spaces. And one of the primary manifestations that I understand is fatigue and pain. Certainly true for me. Come on up to center. Switch the cross of the legs. This is seated cat and cow. So for seated cat and cow, you can keep your feet crossed. You could also bring them in front of you if that makes it easier to hold on, to sit up. And it's tucking the chin in, rounding the spine, and then lifting up in the chest, little bit of a back bend. So I'm going to do this cross leg. That's Darla and Norman. It's hunting time. Okay. Now, this is like, I gotta tell you, my connective tissue is screaming. Hypermobile EDS, my friends, you know what I'm talking about. So, I'm gonna keep it like there. Here's my range today. This is where, so I'll show again because I have no idea if folks are like staying and watching. What I'm able to do, so this is the context of pain, right? Doing somatics within the context of pain. I'm able to go back this far. But when I'm thinking of what doesn't make it worse, this is today. Do you see how subtle? And what I love about this idea of keeping it where it's sustainable is we need to learn, those of us with pain, I'm just assuming that my experience is not fully unique. We push through so much. This feels really good. I'm going to stay here. I'll show you what I'm stretching right now in a second. We have to like fucking just push through our days more often than not, parts of it at least. And so to not push with the body, let me show you what I was just stretching. So the, actually, so one of the weirdnesses about chronic pain, especially chronic pain that is related to your connective tissue, I have no idea what's up with the lighting here, is it impacts your fascia. So these blue bits here that look like where your muscles are, this is huge, massive, big bands of connective tissue. And when I say a huge, massive, big band, I mean it is one piece, which you actually can't really dissect to this because it all just kind of falls apart. But that's a different conversation. But it is one piece that traverses this whole front line of the body. So that cat pose or the cow pose where you're doing the stretching, you're able, when you're in that, just that lift, even if you're not going like super far into your range of motion, same with the back line. This is, and I'm speaking about connective tissue here. So when rounding forward and contracting forward, we're able to, from the crown of the head all the way down to the feet. There are other, these are often called anatomy trains. This is, the fuck is his name? He's a nice guy. He lives in New England. Oh well, but yeah. Okay, and so with yin yoga, oh, I should say that too. A lot of yin yoga is focusing on the connective tissue. How do you isolate something that connects? I'm not sure. This actually is my specialty. I still have not found a way. But so we're back to the, hi honey, how you doing? Okay. This is a forward fold. So bringing your feet together a little bit in front of you. Got a nice big poof here. Look at that. Sounds like somebody just hammered my window on the 3rd floor. Okay. So I'm going to come into a forward fold here, and I'm using all of this poof against because I have this range of motion, but I'm working comfortably. And so are you, because that's what we're doing. So this is butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana, a little bit of a forward fold. And tucking the chin. And these forward folds are nice for introspection, right? They're inner, curling in. You could also think about it as expanding back. And this is one way that you can, with your attitude, like with your attention, play with the idea of space in this yin context, because this rounding forward, right, forward going, you would think like, okay, that's my focus. But if we look at the opposite, the less present or less forward facing aspect of the shape of the asana, that would be more yin. And then expanding the back, or maybe, I don't know, I get really esoteric with this stuff sometimes. Not get that to center. Lying down on your belly. So make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands. It's like a prone shavasana, some folks might call it. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Oh. So just taking a couple breaths here. This is a prone tree pose. So I'm gonna bend this knee to 90 degrees, staying on my belly. The tree would be to have it in by my other leg. This, with the knee a little bit more open, brings the pelvis into it just a bit more. And, you know, if the discomfort starts getting chatty, you'll back off. I have yet to figure out how to do that with neuropathy, to be honest. So whatever knee you have bent, that opposite arm you could play with threading it through. So I've now threaded the needle with my opposite arm, and this knee is here. And if you're twisted, come back onto your belly, straighten your legs, and then do it again. So you'll just bend one knee out, thread the other arm through. And if that's still confusing today, that's okay. You can try it again tomorrow. Just stay in the first part of the pose. A little bit of a chest moment here, not all the way into a twist, but just bringing that same arm as the leg that's bent up. My friends with bellies and boobies, this can be uncomfortable. I've got students who find it very difficult to breathe. So you can reverse this and do it on your back. Come into center. The chest will look a little bit different. I'll do some variations. I'll do a variation stream sometime. We can talk about that. Bringing that leg back to center. And the other side. So the other knee comes out. This is going to be like a super cool trick. You guys love it. One of the possible side effects of any kind of anything with your body, for those of us who live with chronic illness, is post-exertion malaise. That painful crash, now would be the crossing over, or fatigue, inflammation. I mean, we, you know, all of our symptoms are our own. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's beneficial to just pull it way back, way back. And just practice moderately. So bringing the arm up and out, so you can see it's still up, it's way up in the air. I'm not going for a twist. This feels so good on the mastectomy site. So it may or may not for other mastectomy for siblings. Following this upper arm down to the ground, here you are, back on your back in constructive rest position. And this will be the end of practice for my body today. So let's just take a couple more beats here in constructive rest. I love this shape. You could also be lying down all the way with your legs straight. It is windy, windy, windy here. Thank you if you're here. I hope you recorded anything that you wanted to record. I will be sharing more, and I think I'm actually going to jump on in a bit. I have to practice my bowls, so maybe I'll stream it. Thanks. Bye bye.